How are we doing, guys? Always should be, and welcome to a new series, the Championship Roundup, which is pretty much what it says on the tin. We're going to round up the Championship. We're going to go through all the other games other than Leeds' game and sort of discuss, the impacts of the results really on Leeds United and our thoughts on the games in general. It's pretty much what it says on the tin, because we've quick fire stuff going through each game, and it's just new, different types of content. We've always said that this season we want to go better. We want to give you more and more content, more varied content as well, because what you guys have requested quite a lot is that we cover other teams as well, not just Leeds United. This is a 24-team league, and we wanted to talk about the other 23 teams a little bit more. We want to broaden what we do a little bit. But yeah, we're always open to suggestions, requests, etc, etc. I'm currently working on some ALTV Investigates series covering the tactics of the other teams as well as our own. So watch out for that as well in the next couple of weeks. And we've got loads of different types of content planned. So to stop rambling, I'm going to stop rambling now. I'm going to go through the results. And first of all, I'm going to start with Luton 3, Middlesbrough 3. What an absolutely unbelievable game this was last night. Absolutely incredible game. I think when Middlesbrough got that early goal through Ashley Fletcher, lovely header, I thought they were going to cruise it. I thought they were absolutely well on top at that point in the game. Luton fought back absolutely brilliantly. An absolute wonder goal of Sonny Bradley. Then they get the second goal, and you sort of think at that point, maybe Luton can push and get a third goal. Then another twist in the tail. Britta Sombalang gets himself a goal, goalkeeping error. An absolute Lewis Wing wonder goal as well. And at that point, you thought Middlesbrough could have finished the game off. Penalty is missed by Britta Sombalang. And then Luton go up the other end, and James Collins, who's been an absolute goal machine at League 1, League 2 level, has been building up. He gets himself a goal, first goal for the season. I fancy him to get quite a few this season. He's going to be someone who might be a little bit unknown, but he's going to, I think he could smash this league this season as well, potentially. But for me, I was looking at both teams and I was very impressed by him, style of play. Luton are clearly going to attack these teams this season. It's what they've been built on the last 2 years, under Nathan Jones, under Mick Harford, who took over and got them up in the end. And I think it's going to be the same kind of plan with Graham Jones as well. They're going to attack teams this season, and that could really serve them well. Okay, defensively, they could have issues as well with that kind of tactic. With the diamond system, they are very, very attack-minded. Lovely balls into the box. The fullbacks provide plenty of width, and they've done really well. Middlesbrough, again, they're going to be a lot more creative than they were under Tony Pulis. I think Britta Sombalang, Ashley Fletcher, and Marvin Johnson are going to be their key creators, with Lewis Wing just in behind. I think it's quite interesting. And interesting as well that Johnny Howson's been converted to a right back. For all in all, I think it's two teams you look at who've got limitations and strengths as well. But the big results today, the big game for me today was Barnsley 1, Fulham 0. Barnsley were a team I expect a lot from this season. I think Conor has touched on this as well. They've made some really good signings. I think Malik Wilkes, okay, probably wasn't quite ready, sort of the calibre of what we wanted. I probably personally would have kept Malik Wilkes. I'm not just being wise after the event. I've always sort of been consistent in that view. He's apparently absolutely been wonderful today. He's put in a top performance. I think he's playing more as a striker today for Barnsley, but he was playing on the right last season with Doncaster. But Fulham, surprisingly, seen Anthony Knockaert on the bench. But yeah, it looks like Barnsley thoroughly deserved the results. Some ugly scenes after the game with Cyrus Christie, which I just read. Apparently, it's I'm not going to go too much into that because it is all sort of like still, what's the best word for it? Nothing's been confirmed yet, but there's some talk of a bit of trouble after the game with the fans, between the fans and Cyrus Christie, which you do not want to see, certainly at this stage of the season. But that's a massive result for Barnsley, and it's not surprising me. That does not surprise me one bit. I think Fulham are getting massively. They are massively fancy for promotion this season. But for me, I still think they've got a lot of work to do. They're definitely going to be contenders, but they've still got a lot of work to do, have Fulham. But Barnsley, they are going to shock teams this season, especially at Oakwell. Blackburn 1, Charlton 2. Again, a surprising result. Fair play to Lee Bowyer. I want to see Lee Bowyer do well this season. He's done a superb job at Charlton. That fighting spirit. A winner off Lyle Taylor. Another player like James Collins, who not many people have heard of, but again, he's built up through the leagues. He's been absolutely prolific at League 1 level. Maybe people have heard of him, but he has been prolific at League 1 level. It'll be interesting to see how he does in the Championship. That's a big early result that for Charlton. A big away win, a big confidence boost, because I think they will struggle this season. I think the turmoil at the club is not a great feeling at the club, and I think Lee Bowyer is their main hope this season. But that'll be a really disappointing result for Blackburn. They've done well to keep hold of Bradley Dack. Danny Graham's still at the football club. They have lost David Raya, but I think they've had a decent window. Some decent loan signs. Christian Walton's come in to replace David Raya. Be interested to see how Blackburn do, if they can push on from the mid-table finish last season. But that is not a good start to the season. That will be a real concern for Blackburn. That starts the season. Another surprising result: Brentford 0, Birmingham 1. Pep Clotet's first win of the as Birmingham manager. It looks like he could potentially be a strong favourite now to get the job on a permanent basis. I don't think he has done already. I think he is still the caretaker, but I think the feeling is, the signing's been allowed to make with Ivan Sunjic coming in, Croatian, very promising Croatian player, midfielder, compared to Modric who's come in. You think when they're making signings like that, Pep Clotet is very likely to get that job on a full-time basis. And with a result like that against Brentford, I think they've had one shot in the game, but to be fair, they've contained Brentford really well. Brentford, interestingly, Saïd Benrahma was always likely to miss this game. I think he wasn't quite fully fit, but Neil Maupay did not feature at all today, so that's interesting as well. But yeah, Pontus Jansson made his debut. Pontus got himself into a bit of bother, I think, pushing Jax Magoma into the stand. I think it was more of a shoulder barge, but he's got himself into a little bit of bother there. Whether anything happens with that afterwards, I don't know. But yeah, it's not a good start for Brentford. Millwall 1, Preston 0. Now Millwall are a difficult one to know what to expect. I think that Matt Smith signing is someone's going to suit their style of play really well. I think he's dominated their centre-backs today. A good goal of Jez Wallace on the volley to win the game. But Preston couldn't get going. It was very unlike Preston. Millwall contained them really well, and it was a good Millwall performance. I was just watching Lions TV before I went on, and they were really happy with what they produced today. I didn't see the highlights of the game as such, so I had to do little bits of research in each game, but Millwall were happy with what they produced today. But it doesn't sound like Alex Neil was happy. They didn't create anything. I think they had no shots on target and 4 shots in the whole game, which is very rare for Preston because they were an attack-minded team under Alex Neil. But they've lost Callum Robinson, which is a massive loss, and brought in David Nugent to replace him, which is a risky one. David Nugent is a Preston legend, to be fair. I'm not too far from Preston myself. I know all about David Nugent's status at Preston. He is a popular guy at Preston, and to say the least. But that's a risky signing that, at this stage of the season, and as a replacement for someone as good as Callum Robinson. But it doesn't seem to have worked for him so far. So next result: Reading 1, Sheffield Wednesday 3. Lee Bullen has been given the caretaker's job at Sheffield Wednesday. I think it's still Gary Rowett and Chris Hughton who were the favourites for that job. It'd be interesting if they could get either of those two. But a good start for Sheffield Wednesday. If Lee Bullen wants this job on a permanent basis, it's a good start for him as well. He wasn't happy with their performance. He was very critical of their performance. I was watching his interview after the game. He even was quoted as saying, "We'll play a lot better than that, and we'll play a lot better than that in games, and lose games, and lose rather than win." So he wasn't happy with the performance, but still, that's a good win, 3-1 at Reading. Reading have been talked up a little bit this season under Jose Gomez. He massively improved them second half of last season, and yeah, that's an interesting one. Reading 1, Sheffield Wednesday 3. Now the next one, Stoke 1, QPR 2. The pressure is really building on Nathan Jones. Know a couple of Stoke content producers, the Bear Pit TV and the Duck Magazine. Duck Magazine I know quite well. They're not happy. They have kind of, I think they have been backing Nathan Jones, but they were critical of Nathan Jones today. Saying that he's made all these promises and hasn't delivered on them. They were 2 down after 50 minutes, and that is quite shocking. Considering the time they've had to sort of build this project, Nathan Jones and his backroom team, and that's not a good start. But fair play to Mark Warburton. Mark Warburton is an underrated manager for me. He gets his teams playing good football. That Jordan Hugill signing's wise. Erichibi Eze got the second goal. He's a good player as well. They've lost Luke Freeman, but they have been able to, with losing that Luke Freeman for 4 million to Sheffield United, which is an absolute steal, by the way, they've been able to strengthen the other parts of the squad as well. So that'll be interesting to see how QPR do. But I do fancy them to be a lot more creative this season, even though they have lost their main man, Luke Freeman. I think they'll share the creativity around to an extent. Swansea 2, Hull 1. Now Hull went ahead early doors, and Hull, you look at the creativity they've got in Kamil Grzycki and Jared Bowen. They are 2 of the best wings in the league, if not the best winger pairing in the league. And to be fair, that is Hull's strength, scoring goals. Scored 70 2 years ago and scored 66 last season, so they know where the back of the net is. Almost the same amount of goals as what we scored last season, so they know where the back of the net is. But Swansea turned this around with 2 quick-fire goals in that second half, and it's a good first win for Steve Cooper, who's took over. And it'd be interesting to see how he does. It's a little bit like the Graham Potter appointment. It's risky. He's a little bit unknown. He's done good things with the England under-17s. It'd be interesting to see how he does. I think obviously losing Ollie McBurney is a blow, but that'll be an interesting one I want to do. I think they'll be probably a bit similar to last season, because losing Ollie McBurney is a massive blow. And let's not forget as well, they lost Dan James early on in the window, but that is still a massive loss for Swansea. Wigan 3, Cardiff 2. Now this was a game and a half. Cardiff took the lead. Wigan missed a penalty, made it 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, and then 3-2. Lee Evans, absolute wonder goal to win the game. And it's a massive win that. I think Neil Warnock especially will be massively disappointed with that, to concede 3 goals away from home. He likes clean sheets. His teams are built on defensive solidity, so I was very, very surprised with that result. But Wigan, I tell you what, you cannot underestimate Wigan this season. Marcelo Bielsa has already touched on the point before we played them last season in that infamous game that Wigan's position was false last season before they even played us. You know, they are a good team. Paul Cook is a good manager. We've all said between the 3 of us that Paul Cook is a top manager. I know a lot about Paul Cook, obviously, because he managed my local team, Southport. It didn't actually go so well for him at Southport, but I've got a lot of respect for Paul Cook. I've got a lot of time for Paul Cook. Good manager, and he'll do good things for Wigan this season. They have lost Nick Powell, but they have still got creativity in this team. You know, Josh Windass, I think, is a top player. Someone who I think we're going to see a little bit more consistency from this season. And yeah, they've got some good experience in the team. I think Reece James is a big loss as well. But it'd be interesting to see how Wigan get on this season. I don't think they're going to be in any trouble. I think they're going to be a lot more comfortable than they were last season. I don't think they'll be in any sort of relegation trouble at all. That's a massive win. Massively surprised by Cardiff conceding 3 goals. They are built on defensive solidity. Sorry, we're rushing this so much and I'm missing the off word here. But yeah, they are built on defensive solidity, and we haven't seen that today. Final result of the day. Nottingham Forest 1, West Brom 2. Now Forest took the lead early doors on this with Matty Cash. Lovely little give and go with Albert Adoma. Another new signing there, who I think is a good signing as well. Forest were well on top. West Brom got that equaliser through Kyle Edwards and then won the game through, I'd have to question the goalkeeper a little bit on the second goal. Muric from City. Matt Phillips, a top player at this level, got the winner. And it's a good early start for the Slaven Village. I think that's probably the most impressive result of the day. That's a really good win, that, for West Brom. I think the pressure was on them for Slaven Village. I think it's a good appointment there, and I think it's probably their main hope for, you know, the sort of top 6 push. They have lost Dwight Gale, Jay Rodriguez, the main source of goals, and Harvey Barnes, of course, from the first half of last season. And yeah, I mean, they've made some decent signings. You know, Romain Sawyers. I was trying to think the other player now, Semi Ajayi, of course, who we were linked with as well. You know, they're 2 good signings, and they've kept good players as well, Sam Johnson, Matt Phillips. I fancy them to have another push as well. And with results like that, and with the way other results have gone, maybe I've underestimated West Brom a little bit. I've always felt they're going to be top 6, but probably not quite pushing for top 2. But when you get results like that, it's a big confidence boost. I think what Slaven Bilic builds a lot of his teams on is confidence. You know, at West Ham, when he first got to West Ham, they were full of confidence. And he absolutely thrived on that. He absolutely loved that and was able to build on that. But when they moved to Stadium, you know, it wasn't quite the same for him after that. But I think that's a good start for him at West Brom. But all in all, an absolutely superb days of football, superb 2 days of football. And of course, ourselves playing tomorrow, and Huddersfield Derby as well on Monday. But what a start for the EFL Championship this has been. I think how many away wins we had today? 1, 2, 3, 4... 5 away wins out of 9, which is pretty much unheard of. Amazing sort of day in terms of shocks. I think only really West Brom out of the main contenders have won today. That just shows that is the Championship for you. If you can sum up the Championship in one day, today has probably been that day. I've been Oscar Marriott. I'm going to see you later anyway, guys. Make sure you check out our reviews of Bristol City today when this video goes out. Myself, Conor and Joe will all be giving you a post-match review, and Joe will be doing a live watch-along, so make sure you check out that. If you saw the Derby one, you're going to absolutely love this Bristol City one as well, because Joe Wainman on a watch-along is absolutely legendary. I'm going to see you later, guys, and live in the moment.